everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a throwback look at the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class Sideways. Another throwback character which I've been super excited to actually showcase over on the channel, as in my personal opinion this guy was one of the best deluxe figures to come out of that ROTF toy line. It is just such a shame that the character himself had minimal screen time and was literally killed off within the first 10 minutes of the movie, of course by Sideswipe with the aid of the RC triplets, and that is the diorama which I've tried my best to actually set up here for the beginning of this review. Now, as always with these throwback looks, if there's a specific character or figure you would like me to take a look at in the next episode, please feel free to let me know down in the comment section below, and as always let me know what you think of both the figure as well as this review. So getting straight into it, you can see here we've got Sideways in pursuit of the Autobots. Such an awesome sequence, really did kick Revenge of the Fallen off with a bang in my personal opinion. In the movie he was actually sliced in two pieces, and sadly we never actually saw this character in actual hand-to-hand combat with another Autobot. Personally, I think Sideways would have been the perfect equal to Sideswipe, but nevertheless, of course, here we have his original 2009 Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class figure, and I'm really hoping that we do in fact get an updated Studio Series version of this guy in the foreseeable future, as this original figure is actually incredibly impressive. Now, of course, for those of you who have this guy, you know that sadly Hasbro, for whatever reason, weren't actually able to get the right to the Audi R8 that Sideways had in the movie, so they have gone for a slightly more stylized sports car, but personally, I actually think they came pretty close to the actual vehicle used in the movie. You can see in regards to detail, it really does look fantastic. We've got this grille section here at the front, really nice sharp angular design going on here for these front headlights. As we turn our attention to the side of the vehicle, one thing you'll notice about some of these older releases is that they are in fact completely decked out in paint. Honestly, silver paint all over the place. You can see really awesome purple plastic used here for the windscreen, the rear of the vehicle, as well as here these side windows, an actual colour which I haven't seen on a mainline Transformer for quite a considerable amount of time, and I will be honest and say it looks fantastic. You can see here we've got some really nice looking detail going on here towards the back. We've got this black strip which goes along the vehicle, and just take a look here at the attention to detail that they actually put in for these wheels. Honestly, that is super impressive. As we turn our attention here to the back of the vehicle, once again incredibly stylized, but you can see a Decepticon insignia slap bang there in the center. And one thing which is actually worth noting about this particular character is that his bio did state that Scavenger, or I guess you could call him Demolisher, was in fact actually supposed to be protecting this guy. So once again, I wish we could have got more of a backstory of him in the movie, but nevertheless, you can see as we turn here to this side, it's exactly the same in regards to detailing. Sadly for me, one of these wing pieces did in fact snap off quite a long time ago. I've tried my best to glue it, but you can see how it is slightly out of line with the rest of the vehicle. But other than that, a fantastic looking alt mode to accommodate a really stellar looking bot mode. Now, as we just flip here to the underside, you can see how this guy does in fact compact really nicely, and quite surprisingly, you may not have actually been able to tell where the arms are stored, considering they have got a very peculiar design, but they are in fact these sections here, which of course you'll see more of in just a second. So with the vehicle mode pretty much fully wrapped up, let's get this guy transformed up and take a look at, of course, the robot form. So to begin with, you're just going to want to turn your attention here to the back of the figure, pop this piece out. We can then detach the legs from the side pieces. Of course, turn your attention to this side and repeat the same process. You'll want to angle this section out, extend the leg, and of course come here to this side and repeat the same process. I do believe this particular mold was repurposed into a dead end repaint, which I may also actually take a look at over on the channel. And then the first official version of Dino also used this guy in the Transformers Age of Extinction movie Advanced line, and that actually wasn't a bad figure, to be honest. Now, ROTF figures were renowned for having Mecha Live, and in my personal opinion this guy had one of the best Mecha Live gimmicks that any of the deluxe figures obtained. So you simply just want to push here on this grille section, and you can see how literally this panel will flip forward and the wheels will shoot and compress within the torso. Absolutely fantastic, really nice engineering going on there. You're then going to want to pop these side panels out, of course come to the chest, repeat the same process, pop all this open. Once again, be slightly careful due to the nature of the design. I am aware that as this was clear plastic, these pieces did definitely have a tendency to break, which is sadly what actually occurred here on my own copy. But you can see really nice looking detail here, and this is in fact actually a panel which you're not going to see at all when we get him transformed up. We're then going to want to take these tiny collar pieces and just flick these sections here up just like so. We can then come to these arms. You're going to want to flip these wings out, rotate here at the bicep to transform the arm, of course come to this side and repeat the exact same process. So just spin that around. We can then take these here, orientate them in whatever way we so desire. We're then going to want to take this tab and in fact peg it here into this slot, so just snap that in there really nice and securely. And then if we come here to this back section, you're going to want to bring this piece down to allow for some clearance to actually pull these out on springs and shift these all the way forwards in order to recreate his look from the movie. Of course, repeat the same process here, snap that up. You can see these two slots here and here, which will in fact peg into these tabs, so just orientate the backpack just like so, snapping all of that into place. Of course, just collapse these wing pieces down, and then as we spin our attention here to the legs, this can be a little complicated. You're going to want to take these wheels, fold them in, and then you can see this slot, which will in fact be housed via this tab. So rotate that around, snap that there into place, angle it back here at the knee, fold the shin pad down, and you can see once again, as per tradition for some of these Michael Bay designs, we have in fact got chicken legs for the Decepticons, and then we're just going to want to do the same process here for this side. So collapse that down, take this piece here, spin it to the back, snap that into place, angle this down appropriately, and there you've more or less got the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class Sideways fully transformed up into his pretty awesome looking robot mode. Honestly, for a figure which came out in 2009, I think Hasbro did a terrific job, and it just makes me super excited to see as to what an updated Studio Series version of this guy could in fact turn out to be. You can see here from pretty much every single angle, it definitely resembles what we saw very briefly on screen. They did such a fantastic job, and not to mention that it's actually a really weighty and quite large deluxe figure. It is a shame that over time the figures have in fact begun to decline in terms of scale and quality, but to be fair, the Studio Series is actually a lot better when in comparison to the likes of the Age of Extinction figures. But bringing Sideways in here for a closer look, you can see phenomenal looking head sculpt. Honestly, the attention to detail going on for this particular piece looks incredible. Super nice vibrant purple light piping. Once again, purple transparent plastic is super cool. We've got some really nice silver highlights there on the side just to pick out some of the sharper details of the sculpt. We turn it here from a side perspective, very insectoid in terms of design, but really looking impressive. And you can see here for the torso region, I love how this chest does break up, and you've got all of these different angular sections protruding out the side, looking incredibly menacing. And you can also see some super nice internal detailing, which is just something that they didn't have to include, but I'm super glad they did. You can see here for the torso, completely cast out of this very premium looking red plastic, but really exceptional looking detail. Once again, would have been awesome to have gotten some silver or maybe some darker highlights, but nevertheless looking really cool. As we turn here to the arms, we've got these wing pieces protruding off to the side, as well as these sections which stick up from the top, actually looking really nice in my opinion. You can see the sculpt work here for the biceps as well as the forearms. All has turned out so well, and I believe these are in fact supposed to replicate the actual wheels that fold away in the torso. So this one almost transforms into a very similar weapon that Barricade used, that being this razor spinning blade, and it does in fact actually spin, which is pretty cool. We also do get a Mecha Live gimmick, so you can see here as we begin to hinge the elbow, some mechanical components do begin to shift within the actual inside. It's not the best, and it's nowhere near as dynamic as what we actually got here for the torso Mecha Live gimmick, but still really nice attention to detail. As we just flip here to this side, of course, this is a much more regular looking wheel, completely picked out in silver, however, which looks super nice. Of course, nice silver paint there for the hand, and you can see very similar sculpt work to the opposite side. And then as we turn our attention to, of course, the chicken leg design here for Sideways, once again, very nice glossy black plastic used for the thigh region, and some fantastic looking sculpt work here for the side of these very spindly chicken legs, but I think they've turned out really nicely. And of course, we've got these really puny feet, which I actually believe in the movie were a little bigger. So once again, if a Studio Series version comes along, this is definitely an area which I hope they perfect, considering that sadly he doesn't stand the best due to him being rather top heavy, and of course he's got those very spindly feet, so it can take a little bit to actually pose this guy. But you can see once stood up, he definitely looks fantastic, and you can see him here in this diorama taking on Sideswipe as well as the RC triplets. As we turn to articulation, Sideways of course has got a swivel joint here at the head, which can look left to right as well as up and down ever so slightly. Honestly, not to the greatest range, sadly, but here for the arms we get a butterfly joint due to transformation, a full ball joint going the full 360 as well as out to the sides. We do in fact get a rotation here at the bicep, a single joint here at the elbow, but due to transformation that can bend way past 90. Surprisingly, a waist joint, despite it not being necessary for transformation. The legs are on ball joints, so can kick forwards that far, back to that far, out to the sides, rotation at the thigh, 90-degree bend here at the knee, forwards and backwards. And then finally for the foot, considering they're on ball joints, they can pivot forwards and backwards and can in fact rock side to side very slightly, allowing you to actually get this guy surprisingly in some pretty dynamic poses, which I hope I'll be able to show at the beginning of this video. So overall, such a fantastic looking figure. Honestly, as mentioned at the beginning of this video, by far one of my favorite Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe class figures. I think that even after it must be pushing 12-13 years since ROTF, this guy is still one of my favorite looking designs, one of my favorite looking deluxe figures as well. Just super imposing, looks great, but is in a dire need of an upgrade. We definitely need a Studio Series version of this guy sooner rather than later in order to really accommodate the Studio Series ROTF Sideswipe as well as some of those other characters. But really impressive. I would definitely recommend trying to track this guy down if you don't already own him in your collection and you're impatient to actually wait for an SS version, as it's going to be quite difficult to actually surpass this guy considering the plastic they used, as well as actually the accuracy to the movie is almost pretty spot on. So I'd love to know down in the comment section below on what you guys think of this Revenge of the Fallen Sideways. As always, be sure to let me know on what you think of both the figure as well as the review, and as always, please feel free to let me know down in the comment section below whether or not you actually own this figure. Will you be going out of your way to try and track him down? I actually believe he's one of the few ROTF figures which actually doesn't go for astronomical prices on the aftermarket. Maybe that's just simply down to the fact that he didn't really have a heck of a lot of screen time in the movie, or maybe he's just not a popular character. I've always regarded him, however, as being one of the coolest Decepticon designs and definitely wasted potential. You guys can also let me know what other throwback characters you would like me to take a look at in the next episode, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.